President Obama and two of his top national security officials will make their case publicly on Monday for a diplomatic agreement with Iran to prevent that nation from acquiring the nuclear weapon, one day before Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel is to address Congress to denounce such a deal. The president has scheduled an interview with Reuters for Monday afternoon, the same day that Susan E. Rice, his national security advisor, and Samantha Power, his ambassador to the United Nations, will address the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee at its policy conference here.Mr. Netanyahu also will speak to the Aipac gathering on Monday. The appearances will be an opportunity for Mr. Obama and his team to reassert their backing for Israel, and potentially to smooth over some sharp tensions in the United States-Israel relationship that have been underlined in recent weeks in the run-up to Mr. Netanyahu's congressional address. The series of public comments will be as close as the American president and the Israeli prime minister come to a real-time debate over how to address the nuclear threat from Iran, and they are likely to highlight the deep rift between Mr. Obama and Mr. Netanyahu on the issue. Those divisions have become more personal in recent weeks after Mr. Netanyahu worked with Speaker John Boehner, Republican of Ohio, to arrange for the prime minister's speech at a joint session of Congress, without first informing the White House. Mr. Obama quickly said he would not meet with Mr. Netanyahu to avoid the appearance of influencing Israeli elections in 2 weeks. Ms. Rice said last week that the Prime Minister's visit had been destructive to the American-Israel relationship because it injected politics. Mr. Boehner said on Sunday that he had never seen demand for tickets as high as they are for Mr. Netanyahu's appearance, and he criticized Mr. Obama's team for its reaction to the planned speech. "What I wonder is why the White House feels threatened because the Congress wants to support Israel and wants to hear what a trusted ally has to say," Mr. Boehner said on the CBS program Face the Nation on Sunday. "It has been, frankly, remarkable to me the extent to which, over the last 5 or 6 weeks, the White House has attacked the Prime Minister, attacked me for wanting to hear from one of our closest allies." Secretary of State John Kerry, who will be in Switzerland negotiating with Iran during Mr. Netanyahu's address, sought on Sunday to play down the dispute between the United States and Israel. "We don't want to see this turn into some great political football," he said on ABC's This Week. "The administration is not seeking to politicize this. We want to recognize the main goal here is to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, and on that, Israel and the United States agree." But the focus Monday and Tuesday, in an unusual series of virtually dueling speeches and the interview, is more likely to be on differences between the two nations. What you're going to see is a very deep disagreement over policy by an American government led by President Obama and an Israeli government for now led by Netanyahu, said Jeremy Ben-Ami, the executive director of the Democratic-aligned and pro-Israel group J Street. He said that divide was only going to get worse if an agreement is struck with Iran, and then you're in a very serious clash between the two countries.